On the Limits coverage of the Japan GT Championship is brought to you by Nissan. The 7th round of the Autopolis Japan GT Championship shapes up as a bit of a dream breaker. Here, for sure, the hopes of 5 or 6 title contenders are going to be shattered. And that's entirely appropriate, because this is a place with a history as a dream destroyer. The Autopolis Circuit was built 11 years ago, at the top of a mountain in the midst of a national park in the remote hinterland of Kyushu. It was one man's extravagant, eccentric dream to create a $400 million playground for the rich, including a racetrack that would host a hoped-for Formula One Grand Prix. The F1 race never happened, and the place went broke within a couple of years. Now the JGTC has decided to bring the championship here for the first time ever, Autopolis becoming the bizarre host to round 7. For sure, it has the facilities to cater for the JGTC's usual big crowds, including a classy hotel above Turn 1, huge spectator stands, and spectacular buildings each side of the front straight. Trouble is, the hotel and many of the other buildings are closed up, fallen into neglect. Still, it's a great circuit, a mix of breakneck downhill plunges, uphill S's and technically difficult corners. The GT drivers love it.
It's wonderful. It's like a small Nürburgring Nordschleife. It's up, down, it's small, it's bumpy. There's high speed, slow speed. It's really, really exciting. And driving here every lap is a pleasure. I mean, it's so much fun.
This race provides the last chance for a number of teams to stay in the title fight. They need now to close the gap on the GT500 and GT300 points leaders. Defending champions Juichi Wakasaka and Akira Ida head the point standings. But the Toyota pair is a mere 4 points ahead of Nissan's Krum and Satoshi Moriyama. Toyota drivers Eric Comas and Takeshi Tsuchiya are well within striking range of the leaders, 14 points adrift. Many more are in with a chance, but only a slim one. They include Richard Lyons and Masami Kageyama, and Benoit Treloar and Yuji Ide. Honda's Ryo Mishigami and Sebastian Philippe and Daisuke Ito and Tom Coronel also have an outside chance. Of course, it's never that straightforward in the JGTC with its carefully balanced handicap weight system. And the top 3 in the standings are each weighed down with 90-kilo handicaps. In GT300, it's essentially a 4-way fight for the title, with a few others still holding an outside chance. Toyota drivers Kuda Sasaki and Satoru Goto hold a 3-point lead. Next is Porsche pair Shinichi Yamaji and Katsuyuki Nishizawa. Tied for third are the 2 Nissans, the Z car of Mitsuhiro Kinoshita and Masataka Yanagida, and the Sylvia driven by Tadao Uematsu and Kazuki Hishino. Not surprisingly, none of them are fastest in qualifying, the Toyota of Hironori Takeuchi and Yuji Tashikawa securing pole.
Yes, it's kind of too late for us to talk about the championship anymore, so actually we don't have nothing to lose, so we don't have to worry about weights or points, and I think we really have a good chance to go this time.
A quarter second slower is the mobile Honda, a car given performance enhancements here after a really poor season. The Lions Kageyama Skyline does the best of the top 4, qualifying third. The Nissan's just 0.02 of a second ahead of the way down number 1 Supra.
まあね、36はね、もう同じトヨタですし
The
ね。
driver
まあ
right now is 23, and they've got another 90 kilogram on their weight. But thinking about the balance of the car, I think we have about 20 kilogram advantage. And thinking about the tires, I mean, both GTRs are putting on hard compounds, and so it must be hard on them. So I think we have a better chance with them.
Krom and Motoyama can manage only the 8th quickest time, seemingly feeling their handicap.
The moment you think about the weight, you realize, oh, it doesn't really accelerate up the hill or have to brake earlier than normally. That's all negative things you really want to push away, and you really just imagine that the car is light.
Komas and Tsuchiya qualify way back, 12th, but still confident.
So certainly not out of the picture for the championship.
For sure not.
Good.
We answer in 4 hours from now.
Good.
4 more hours to wait.
In GT300, the first of the title fighters are 6th, 7th and 8th fastest, led by Goto and Sasaki. Next is the Nissan 350Z. And then it's the second place Yamaji Nishizawa Porsche. But they're over a second and a half off the pace of the pole-winning Ferrari, Hideyoshi Matsuda and Tetsuya Tanaka.
Yeah, I think 19 car is maybe race is quick, but this race this week for race distance simulation is very nice, and I think if not trouble, maybe win. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's the Japan GT Championship's first time in Kyushu, and the local people have responded well. A big crowd of them have turned up on a beautiful, crisp, clear autumn day. It's time now as the field goes through its last preparations before heading off on the warm-up lap to check out the front of the GT500 and GT300 grids. On pole then is Takeuchi in the number 38 Toyota, alongside Andre Lotterer in the Honda. Then it's Kageyama in the Nissan, alongside Akira Iida's Esso Ultraflow car. In 5th place is Manabu Arido in the Denso Saad Toyota, alongside Hiroki Kato's Honda. Then it's Shigekatsu Wakasaka in the number 35 Toyota, and Satoshi Motoyama in the number 23 Nissan. Hideyoshi Matsuda is at the wheel of the GT300 pole-winning Ferrari alongside Keita Sawa. Then it's Takayuki Aoki in the second Celica alongside Katsuo Kobayashi. In 5th place is Nobuteru Taniguchi in the Mazda alongside Kuta Sasaki. Then it's Mitsuhiro Kinoshita in the Nissan and Shinichi Yamaji in the Porsche. So Hironori Takeuchi leading them to the green light. 2 hours racing ahead of them here at Autopolis. That's Takeuchi on the left in the silver and orange Toyota. Blocking off Andre Lotterer, controlling the start very well, pulls out wide. Kageyama comes flying out of the slipstream of the Honda. Now trying down the inside, but his way is blocked. And it looks like all the places hold. All the grid spots that is hold through turn 1. And everyone's safely through. So Takeuchi leads, Lotterer tucked in behind, then Kageyama in the Nissan next, and then Akira Iida in the 4th place. Looking at Jeremy Dufour on the black and red Toyota. Oh, that's Paolo Montaigne stepping off the edge. But on board now with Akira Iida, tracking the Kageyama Nissan right in behind him here. Trying to get on by. Oh, in fact, contact in the back, and he's turned him around in the opening moments of this race. No love lost, of course, between Toyota and Nissan. And that's just another piece of that battle, I guess. So the field heads on its way uphill to the hairpin. Takeuchi in the lead, and he locks up. He goes in just a little too hot, and Lotterer goes on through for the lead. There's the Ferrari of Matsuda leading GT300. Keita Sawa tucked in behind him. Then Aoki in the number 19 car still in 3rd, as they were in the grid. And Arido has got past Takeuchi as well, so the pole sitter now back in 3rd place and slipping back towards Iida's clutches. Shigekatsu Wakasaka was next, and then the blue Nissan of Benoit Treloya next behind him. Here comes Treloya down the inside of Wakasaka, bangs into the side of him, takes him out of the way, intentionally, unintentionally. The effect is the same. back with the leaders in GT300, and the number 19 car has been dropped off by these two. So Sawa in second place, but no more Aoki in the other Celica. Big fight going on here for about 5th place. This is between Yamaji and the Porsche, and Sasaki and the MRS, two of the series leading contenders. Oh, there's the reason why 19's disappeared. Aoki heading into pit lane, and the bonnet going up, so that looks like that's a major problem. On board with Ida again, and he's closing in on Takeuchi going up the hill. Looks like he might have got him. He's got him. The pole sitter seems to be struggling a little in the opening stages, and now he's got Benoit Treloar's Nissan all over him as well. On board with Treloar, he's on attack again. Right up behind the Supra as they take the tricky infield, and he's got alongside. Wait for it. Yes, he's up to 4th place. And look at this fight for the lead. Lotterer getting the pressure from Marito, goes right down the inside of him, but manages to recover and retains the lead for the moment anyway. A big gap now opening up at the front of GT300. Matsuda going clear of Sawa. More excitement here. This is a replay of Montaigne overdoing the late braking at the hairpin and taking out Jeremy Dufour as they scrap over about 11th or 12th place. And here comes another attack, same place. Oh, Takeuchi's really having a bad day. Hiroki Kato turns him around. Benoit Treloar in the pits and not getting out of the car, so they're in for a 2-stop strategy in this race. Very interesting. Treloar gets underway again. Oh, here's Satoshi Motoyama under attack from Kato. Kato really the man on the move at the moment, that's for sure. One of them anyway. And he's got him. The NSX's cornering ability outdoing the Nissans. And look at the fight for the lead once again. Arito putting the pressure on Andre Lotterer, but the Honda newcomer doing a really good job taking that pressure and absorbing it. Here's his teammate Sugio Matsuda, and Lotterer's got past. So he's about to come into the pits to hand over to Sugio Matsuda, and Arito's not waiting for that. He's gone by anyway. On board with the Kirida in 3rd place. Oh, there's a lock-up from the Nissan Silvia that he's about to lap just ahead of him. Got to be careful. This is the danger zone in JGTC. The big speed differential between the GT300 and GT500s. Here's Lotterer into hand over to Matsuda. The Honda team going to work there as Arito really cranks around here in the Toyota, trying to put in some very quick laps. That should make the difference, he hopes, between leading or not when these pit stops are over. So Matsuda gets into the race. So too does Richard Lyons in the number 22 Nissan. And now Juichi Wakasaka limbering up, ready to get into the number 1 Toyota. That's been running 3rd. Here's Ida. He climbs out, and Takeuchi in as well. Juichi Wakasaka joins the race. We're at the halfway mark in this race, and the race-leading Toyota Supra's in for its stop. Manabu Arito out, and German Dominic Schwager getting on board. The stop puts the number 12 Nissan into the lead, but it's still got its pit stop to come. Schwager takes off. It's going to be interesting to see where he ends up in this field. Well, there's the Honda, so Matsuda's got ahead of him. So Sugio Matsuda, when the pit stops are all done, should be in the lead of the race. At the moment, it's Benoit Treloar, of course, but his second stop still to come. And in second place, Juichi Wakasaka's got the number 1 car up to second. Here's Treloar coming in to hand over to Yuji Ide. So that takes them out of the lead of the race and puts this man into it. Sugio Matsuda in the Mobile 1 Honda. And in second, Dominic Schwager in the Denso Saab Toyota. Yuji Ide now on the blue Skyline is slotted in ahead of Lyons. Now tracking him. In fact, he just about takes him out, just overcooks it a little. Tetsuya Tanaka in the Ferrari, now second after the pit stops in GT300. Big fight going on here for 5th place. Oh, Naoki Hattori cops a hit from Michael Krum's Nissan. Yuji Ide and the other Nissan trying to get involved as well. but Hattori hanging on in that Toyota. Whoa, big squeeze coming here from Ide, and he gets them both. Well, some fantastic race going on between these guys, and it's about to be joined by Lions as well. So now it's a three-way Nissan fight versus the one Toyota. Well, look out, Hattori, here comes Lions. Yes, Hattori swerves out of the way. Lions tucks him up off the edge of the track while Krum gets ushered through on the inside. So definitely some team tactics going on here. Here's the leader in GT300, Takayuki Kataoka, in the lead in the 71 Celica, but he's got company not too far behind. There it is, the Ferrari of Tetsuya Tanaka starting to catch him up. So the Ferrari lost out in the pit stop routine, but looks like he's coming back. Oh, and now Akihiro Asai gets turned around by Seiji Arrow in the Toyota. Asai getting it back on the track without getting hit by anybody else. He'll be relieved about that much anyway. Oh, and another Porsche in trouble. A shredded tyre brings Yasuo Miyakawa to a smoky halt. And Matsuda under attack for second place. Now that's Wakasaka all over the back of the Honda. Not bad going for a car that's toting 90 kilos of penalty weight, that's for sure. So Wakasaka on attack. So too is Tanaka. He's all over the back of the Kataoka Celica. And Ide fifth is closing in on Tashikawa's Toyota as well. Here's the two big battles of the moment. On the front straight together, Kataoka fighting to keep the GT300 lead. And behind him, Matsuda's got his work cut out, holding off Wakasaka in the number one Toyota. On board with Ide now, and he's right up behind Tashikawa's car for fourth place. Really putting the pressure on him. As they work their way up the hill, he's got inside of him. Tashikawa just looked like he got a little bit wide. And there goes Ide, gone through. Oh, and look at this, a real big attack coming from Wakasaka, and the blue Toyota gets the squeeze though. Matsuda just squeezing him out towards the edge of the track as they come up behind the GT300 leading Ferrari. Tanaka, of course, and the Ferrari can't afford to get off the track and get out of their way. He's got his own fight to worry about. So Wakasaka's going to have to pick his time, and he does right now as the Matsuda Honda just goes a little bit wide in the S's. He goes on past and makes it look so easy. Safely well ahead of all of this is Dominic Schwager as we go into the dying stages of the race. The Denso Saad car really looks to have this one stitched up. On board with Yuji Ide, and he's slowed down. And there's the reason why probably one of the Nissans goes past, and that is Richard Lyons, in fact, and now he pulls left again and lets Michael Krum go by because he is the man who still has a chance to beat the number one Toyota boys to the title. So team tactics coming to the fore here in the dying minutes of the race. Tense moments on the pit wall with Wakasaka's team. If things stay as they are, they'll extend their lead from 4 to 11 points as Dominic Schwager heads for the finish line, but they look a bit worried. Akira Ida there looking very, very nervous. Now it's down to the last corner for Schwager. He's coming down to take the Denso Saad team's first victory of the year and comes to the checkered flag now. So a win to Manabu Arido and Dominic Schwager. And Wakasaka's slowed just before the finish line. He's lost second place to Matsuda. The team this raised voices up on the pit wall, but Ida looks somehow pretty calm, and now he accelerates away again. This must have been a tactic. They didn't want the weight that goes with that placing, so they've dropped back down the order to fourth place. He's just crossed the line ahead of Michael Krum. Wow, what a sensational finish. The two Nissans coming through, one of them almost pulling into the slowing Toyota, and now the Toyota pulls off the track. So it may have been that the car is out of petrol, but it didn't look like it, and these guys do not look distraught at all. Probably a tactic, but look at this. More dramas. The Ferrari slowed in the last moments of the race, and the Celica, the number 71 car, with Tetsuya Kataoka at the wheel, is going to win this race, and the Ferrari is actually ground to a halt. So Kataoka takes the win amongst some lap traffic there, including the number 3 Nissan. And now Dominic Schwager takes the victory honours, doing a burnout on the front straight. I think he's a happy man. Not so this guy, Tetsuya Tanaka, with his dead Ferrari. Manabu Arido letting his emotions flow there as he greets Schwager. And Kataoka cruises back in. He'll be very happy with that as the Toyota Team Saad celebrates.
was a good race, almost perfect race. I mean, I think we had a little bit trouble in a pit stop with the left rear tire. So I came out in third. I thought it's gonna be difficult, but I know our tire hit up very quickly, so this time. So I tried to push very hard the first 5 laps, and it worked out.
From finishers unaware of the number 1 Supra's last-minute slowdown.
Yeah, so I think they finished second, no?
No, they slowed. They slowed and finished fourth.
The number
They
1 car.
slowed on the
Really?
on
I didn't
the
know that.
straight,
Oh, that's
yeah.
great. So we lose weight for the next race,
Yeah.
and they keep the same weight, so we are lighter for the final, and I think we're looking very good.
So suddenly it's all sort of possible
Thanks
again.
for the news.
I think second position this race, but finish first position. I'm surprised. Oh, I don't know. What happened? Last 2 laps, fuel is nothing. And I put lift pump, but not enough.
A very strong showing then from the Denso Saar Toyota sees Schwager and Dorito take the win by 13 seconds from Matsuda and Lotterer, with Takeuchi and Tashikawa coming home third. In GT300, Sawa and Kataoka take that last-minute win. The Ferrari still finishing second though, because it was over a lap ahead of the third-place car. In the point standings, Wakasaka and Ida now have a 6-point lead over Motoyama and Krum going into the Suzuka finale. Tsuchiya and Komas are third. It's still tight in GT300, with Yamaji and Nishizawa leading by 9 points from Sasaki and Goto, with Sawa, Kinoshita, Yanagita, Nitta and Takagi all in with a chance. Coverage of the Japan GT Championship is brought to you by Nissan.